Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here to do wrap up of May. I have read 12 books in May, which is less than in a few months before, but I am just going to do wrap up. I'm going to do bullet points wrap up and then point out some books that have disappointed me and that have surprised me in the end. So let's get started. So, the first book I've read this in May was Stephen Hawking's Brief Answers to the Big Questions. And this is his last book before he died. And I must say I'm very sad that he's gone, because this book just shows how funny he was, how brilliant he was, and how much we have lost with him going. And this book I would summarize as Stephen Hawking's last book, summarizing his research and opinions, awe in the universe, and hope for humanity and science in the future. I would recommend this to people who like exosciences, physics, and generally are interested in the science development of humanity. I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have read was Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey, which is the third book of the Expanse series, and my bullet points for this are: unknown technology opens the stars for humanity, faith and political tension, a spike and clash, revengeful girl messing up with my babies. I would recommend this to people who like The Expanse on Amazon and just like sci-fi. This is I think one of the best sci-fi series of these years that is currently still coming out, and it's beautiful. I gave this 4.25 out of 5 stars. The next book I've read was The Loup by Ben Oliver. This book is about a revolutionary Gryffindor boy trying to save his friends and family in a crumbling dystopian society. It is about imprisoned teenagers and about just society falling apart, and this is a dystopian novel you want if you want something that gives you Hunger Games feelings. This is like YA dystopian a la carte. This is exactly what you want from a YA dystopian, and yeah, I'm recommending it to people who like dystopian books, dystopian YA. This is exactly what you want. Go for it. I give this 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have read was actually a non-fiction book called The Emotion Code, and this book is a self-help book about energy healing. This book kind of felt very culty, kind of very that it had an agenda and it wanted to make you subscribe to a certification, and it was, in my eyes, not as self-help as it should be. I recommend this book to people who are interested in like these energy healing things, in the self-help esoteric stuff, and yeah, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It was an experiment. I didn't like this book much. And then I have read The Future of Another Timeline by Annalee Newitz. Boy. Okay. Punk feminist fighting for female reproduction rights through history. Time travel and time editing war with extreme patriarchy loving male time travelers. Female friendship, power, freedom, and empowerment. This book is sci-fi, feminist sci-fi, heavily feminist sci-fi. And I recommend this to people who are feminists and want to read a time travel book, and it is so good. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Easily. It's beautiful. I love it. The next book I have read on audio was Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, and this is her newest book, and this is about 2 half-sisters after the tragic loss of their father, one with privilege and one without it, finding your family's dark secrets and finding your family anew. This book is a contemporary. It is focused on culture and on family. I recommend this to people who like these family stories, hard-hitting contemporary, and just Elizabeth Acevedo. She's brilliant. Go for the audiobook. I love her. I gave this book 4.25 out of 5 stars. The next book I have read was Repo Virtual by Corey L. White. Also great. My bullet points are: a heist with moral consequences, AI, philosophy and humanity in toxic capitalism, revolutionary cults, queer as hell. So this book surprised me because it's actually queer and I didn't think it would be. which is kind of fun to discover when you're reading it. Like, hold on, people are gay. People are gay. Yeah, I recommend this to people who like sci-fi, who are kind of interested in these philosophical questions around AI and just like crew hastes, which is fun. And yeah, I gave this book 3.75 out of 5 stars. The next book I have read, and I have done a dedicated review, is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And yeah, this book is about President Snow as a teenager in a post-war capital doing the job of adults and being his best Slytherin self. The prequel we all have been waiting for, but were mostly disappointed with. A book about character development without any character development. I am bitter. I am very bitter, okay? I recommend this to Hunger Games fans. And yeah, I gave this 2.5 out of 5 stars. Please go watch my dedicated review for this. I know it's 44 minutes. I am very sorry, but I had a lot of stuff to say. Just skip the vlog and just listen to my thoughts at the end. I promise you, I had a lot of thoughts about this. And yeah. Yeah, so after this, I have listened on audio to Binti Home, which is the second book in the Binti trilogy. And this book is about African tribe cultures, alien-human friendships and war, finding yourself and dealing with growing of age. I recommend this to sci-fi fans who are interested in something different that explores different cultures than the main, like, Western culture. This is heavily focused on African tribes and it is done so well, so beautifully. I love it. And this book is kind of a hybrid. It feels like a contemporary coming of age novel, but in a very sci-fi setting, and it is good. I gave Binti Home 4.75 out of 5 stars. It's brilliant. I love it. So, on to the last 2 books. The next book I have read was Bonds of Brass by Emily Skrotsky, and I love it. My bullet points are: a badass cinnamon roll space pilot and his emotional Ravenclaw best friend, who is secretly the heir to the Galactic Empire, going on an adventure. Space battles and politics. Male to male, friends to lovers romance that makes sense. And just plainly fun. Oh, this book is just everything I want from YA sci-fi. It feels like Star Wars. I love it. So I give this 5 out of 5 stars. I recommend it to everybody who likes Star Wars, who wants to read a YA sci-fi, and especially I recommend this to Finn Poe shippers. You will enjoy this. And the last book I have read, like in the last 24 hours actually, is Omxia by Langlieff. And Omxia is a contemporary. It is about a girl who becomes Instagram famous poet overnight, but fame has some issues and drama coming with it. Beautiful friendship I adore so much, and bookstore romance and jealous ex stirring up drama. I love this book for quite a small reason. This is one of the best friendships I have read in a while, and it is beautiful. I love it. I gave this book 3.75 out of 5 stars. So that's the short wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to speak about 2 good books and quickly mention 2 negative books. So, first of one is Bonds of Brass by Emily Skrotsky. So, I went into this book expecting, teenagers and pilots in space and fighting and, having fun. This surprised me so much. It is so good in pace and in relationship and in just the setting. It really feels like reading a Star Wars movie, or like one of those between movies who are not actually Star Wars. It's a Star Wars story, and this is like Star Wars, but also it's your own universe. In the end, I would say this is a mix between Star Wars and Captive Prince. If you have read that male-to-male romance thingy that is kind of controversial, this is not as controversial, but it has some vibes that are similar, and I enjoyed it a lot. This has a lot of space fighting. There is an academy they are going to, and there's the whole blood rights that you are born into a family who rules the universe, which is kind of fun. And this was just amazing to read. It gave me everything I wanted. This is such a teenager book. Such a teenager book. They are such cinnamon rolls idiots. Just these stupid boys, not really sure what they are doing, but they just go with it and try to survive. And yeah, good. There is gonna be, I think, 2 other books, and I'm buying the next book on release date. It is good. So 5 out of 5 stars if you want a YA space romancy revolution thing. This is your jam. Another book I want to positively point out, which because it so surprised me, was The Future of Another Timeline. And this is so punk and so female positive and so feminist. Just, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to love this as much as I do, because I kinda sometimes have this ingrained fear to be too feminist, and I forget how beautiful it feels to speak up, to see the words that are in your head, actually, that you are sometimes speaking out loud, but sometimes you just feel like you will destroy a relationship with someone who has different opinions than you, or is just plainly not a nice person. And then you read a book which has all your thoughts and all these ideals in it that kind of feel like coming to someone who understands you. And this is just so good. I want to mention that this has a group of men who are the main antagonists, and it is not really explained what their motivation is for the hate and power hungriness over women, which I'm kinda sad about. But if you think about our society, there is no explanation either. Those people cannot explain themselves. So yeah, but I must say there are very few but sprinkled through male characters I love as well. But this is women focused, this is women rights focused, this is punk focused and time travel focused, and it's amazing. I love it. So highly recommend this one. And I think I have to point out the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes again. This is the one negative one I want to point out. I had a mediocre, like a good to mediocre month. I didn't have a book I disliked as much. I just disliked the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So this book, I enjoyed reading it for the first 60% of the book. After the 60%, it broke down and I didn't like the ending. I think that this whole book actually has no point behind it. I think that the thing I get out of this story, the development of Hunger Games, the destruction of the capital after the war, and some things about Choreo Snow could have been written within 250 pages and not more. And I don't see why this is 540 pages. There is a love story in this that I think is completely pointless. And there is a character I wish would have been treated more fairly and given more space to talk, to think, and to change something. And I am pissed. I give this 2.5 out of 5 stars. I am thinking about reducing it to a 2 because I don't want people to read this unless you are a very hardcore Hunger Games fan. And if the next books that will probably come after this one are going to be better, than to read it just to get into the next stories. But welcome to the cursed child of Hunger Games. No, it's not. It's not that bad. But I see some people love it. A lot of people hate it. I'm kind of more on the hate side, but I don't feel like throwing it onto the wall. I just feel like most of the space in the book was pretty much wasted. So this was my reading in the month of May, and I enjoyed a lot of books. I have found 2 great books I loved, and I'm so happy. So, thank you for listening and subscribe. There's gonna be more. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.